Hello everybody. In today's video, we're going to learn about figure of speech. Now, what is figure of speech? It's a new topic for all of us, right? So, let me tell you this. Now, you have to choose two options for yourself. So, if I give you two options, one option is that you can either choose a sponge cake, which is simple, baked butter sponge cake with no decorations and no icing. And the second option is it is completely decorated with icing and your favorite decor and the favorite theme with your favorite flavors. So, which one would you choose? A cake which is simple or a cake with frosting and icing? Think about it. Now, if you ask me, I will choose a second one. The reason is because the second one to me looks complete and nice. It looks really nice. Although the baked cake also looks nice, but the sponge cake, the with decoration looks even better to me. So I would choose the second option. Similarly, just like that, when we write our paragraphs simply, our paragraphs appear to be simple, like a sponge cake. But when we start adding figure of speeches into our paragraphs, it becomes like an a cake with icing. It looks complete, right? So this is the reason that we use figure of speech in our paragraphs, to make it look decorative and make it look absolutely complete. Yes. Now imagine reading an author's book which does not have figure of speech. So you will obviously enjoy, but not as much. Figure of speech will add the essence and the beauty to the paragraph and the beauty to the story. That is why learning figure of speech is important. Now, what is figure of speech? There are certain words or phrases which make the sentence or your story or your essay writing much more sensible and much more effective. So, if you want the reader to have an interest in your writing, you should add figure of speeches. Now we are going to learn the first figure of speech. I think this is the first figure of speech that class 3 is going to learn for this year, and it is called onomatopoeia. Now I know that you will think that, Miss, this onomatopoeia word is it's such a big word and a difficult one. Yes, but let me tell you a very easy way to remember the word, and we have also done it in class. So those who have attended the sessions will know this. Just revising, there was a small village, and in the village there used to stay three best friends. Okay, they were very close to each other, and all three of them had very strange and weird habits. Because of their strange and weird habits, everybody in their village started calling them by funny names. Okay, so let's get to the story. There was this boy who only used to eat raw onions for breakfast, lunch, dinner. He never consumed water, nothing, only raw onions every day, all day. So this is strange, right? I mean, how can you eat just raw onions and still survive? Everybody in the village started calling him Ono. Okay, because he's only eating raw onions. Then second girl, she only used to sit on the mat. Everywhere she used to go, she used to carry her mat along, and she used to take the mat and sit on the mat. Even once when she visited an airplane, she refused to sit on the seat, and all the aerostesses, they were like, ma'am, please sit on the seat, but she said, no, I will sit on my mat. She put her mat in the aisle and she sat on the aisle on her mat. So everybody started making fun of her. Everybody started calling her Mato because she's only sitting on mat. So everybody started calling her Mato. So there's one friend, Ono, who only eats onions. Second girl who only sits on mat, Mato. And the third girl who only used to drink orange juice all day. Like, she never used to eat anything. Nothing. She only survived on orange juice all her life. So then people were like, does she have magical powers? How is she living? How is she still alive with the orange juice drinking? So, but yeah, maybe she had a special power. So everybody started calling her Pia. You know how in Hindi you say Pia? So everybody started calling her Pia because she used to keep drinking orange juice. So, Ono, Mato, Pia, together, onomatopoeia. Clear, everybody? Easy to remember now, not a difficult word. Yes, right. So onomatopoeia is one figure of speech you all are learning, and the meaning of onomatopoeia is very simple. You have to use your listening ears. Everybody tap your listening ears. You have to use your listening ears to understand the figure of speech. Very easy. Wherever you hear a sound, that's going to be called your onomatopoeia, figure of speech. The snake hissed. Hissed is a figure of speech. The door went boom. So, boom is a figure of speech. She banged her fist on the table with a thump. Thump is a figure of speech. So, wherever you have the sound, that will be your onomatopoeia. Okay, class. So, I'm going to quickly share the answer key to exercise of your application book, exercise 2.2. Sorry, worksheet 2.2. And let's get started. So all of you, please take out your application A, worksheet 2.2 of onomatopoeia. Okay, so in the first exercise, you're supposed to only underline the onomatopoeic words. Let's get started. The snake crawled and hissed. So hissed is the sound, that's right. Then you have the horse neighed in the stormy night. Neigh, you already know that neigh is the sound made by the horse. Then we go ahead. He honked the horn loudly. Honked is the correct answer. The cat mewed in the dark. Mewed. The clanging pots and pans woke up the sleeping baby. Woke the sleeping baby. Clanging. The gun went boom. Again, boom. The door closed with a click. Click is a sound. The child giggled while watching his favorite cartoon. Giggle. Giggle means to laugh. I love to hear the tweeting of the birds in the countryside. Tweeting. Tweeting is the sound of the birds. The car zipped past me. Zipped is again a sound. That's right. So see, wasn't it so easy? Coming to exercise B. Eating a crispy wafer. What sounds do these actions make? Now tell me. Crunch. I'm sure everybody loves eating wafers, so now you recognize the sound. It is crunch. Crying in pain. Croak or moan. So croak is actually a sound made by the frog. So if you all are frogs, you will write croak, and I'm sure nobody is a frog in class. So you all are going to select moan, right? Because moaning is to when the sound comes when you're in pain. Then popcorn cooking in microwave. That's pop. This is very easy. All right. Next page. Crushing of dried leaves. That is rustle. Opening of a can of soda. That is fizz. Right. So in rustle, let me tell you that T is silent, all right? So you will not say rustle, you will say rustle. Okay, coming to exercise C, fill in the blanks with the correct onomatopoeic words from the box. Let us read the help box quickly. It's murmured. Murmured is to whisper very softly. Like how, you know, in class you keep murmuring when the teacher's teaching. Yes, that action is called murmur. Then thump. Then strum. Pitter patter. Crackling. Sizzled, buzzed, and clatter. Let's get to the exercise. Dash fell the raindrops on the window. Pitter patter fell the raindrops on the window. Do you remember the nursery rhyme of pitter patter? Yes? Okay. Then the dishes fell to the floor with a clatter. Now, clatter is a sound when the dish, you know, most of you have, I also do this. You go to the kitchen and something falls down, there's a clatter of plates. Okay, so whenever a dish or a plate, what sound does it make? It makes a clattering sound. That's right. The bees buzzed over the flower. So buzz, this sound is of the bees. So everybody, buzzed is the bee sound. Tony murmured something slowly in Lydia's ears. Again, I already said murmured is whisper. The hot oil sizzled in the cooking pan. Sizzled is, you know, when the pan is hot and then you just put a oil, or if you put water, it just comes sizzling up. Have you eaten sizzlers anytime, students? In case if you all have eaten sizzlers, you all might know that, you know, when the waiter or the waitress gets the sizzler platter to your table, the sound that comes from the platter, like sizzling sound, that is called the sizzling sound. He banged his fist on the table with a thump. We roasted marshmallow over the crackling fire. The musician, crackling fire means, you know, when the things start burning in the fire. Most of the times during Holi, if you see, when we, you know, have the bonfire during Holi, you must have observed that there is a sound, there's a sort of a sound that comes from the fire. That is actually the crackling sound. If you hear it closely, you will be able to understand that that's a crackling sound. Then the musician used a coin to strum the guitar. Whenever any musical instrument has a string to it, most of the times you strum the string. Okay, so you strum the guitar, you strum the sitar, you strum the veena. So these are the things that you strum. So strumming the guitar. Now that was all for let me just get back. Yes, so this was about the onomatopoeic exercise. And okay, so very easy topic. Yes, please finish this work. And homophones are yet remaining, but when we finish with the exercise, I will send you a YouTube link again so that you all can see that. Okay, thank you so much, class. I hope you enjoyed this video.